My name is Manny Covington and I'll be doing my speech on school uniforms. When you watch a movie or a television show that shows students with school uniforms, what do you think? Most people think the rich kids or a private school. That actually might not be true though, because according to the Department of Education in the 2007 to 2008 school year, 15.5% of public schools required school uniforms. More and more of public school districts are instigating school uniforms in their schools, and the debate on whether this is constitutional or even helpful for students is a highly debated topic. Some might think that establishing school uniforms is against the students' and parents' First Amendment rights, but I believe school uniforms are a good way to help improve education. I personally have never been required to wear a school uniform, but I am required to wear a uniform to work every day, and my dad was in the military and he was required to wear a uniform as well. I've seen children who are required to wear school uniforms and see how they grow up compared to those who don't have to wear school uniforms. Today I'm going to go over some of the many reasons why school uniforms are a benefit to society. School uniforms help students to feel more equal to one another, help them feel safe in their environment, and it teaches them how to be professional, which will help them in the workplace in the future. First, let's go over how school uniforms help students to feel more equal to one another. School uniforms can help students in a variety of ways, but one way they help is to assist students in feeling equal to one another and more confident. Other students' confidence might be lowered if school uniforms are put into practice, but the equalization of school uniforms far outweighs those children whose confidence would waver with school uniforms. The implementation of school uniforms makes students have an even playing field to grow from, making one less thing for less fortunate children to have to worry about when they go to school. School uniform act as social equalizers, stopping the fashion wars that tend to plague public schools. If everyone is wearing the same thing, it helps to promote the acceptance of others and helps the student to grow in the originality of themselves. President Clinton even agreed with this philosophy. In his 1996 State of the Union address, he said, "If it means that our young people will learn to evaluate themselves by what they are on the inside instead of what they're wearing on the outside, then our public schools would be able to require their students to wear uniforms." As a result of the students gaining a stronger self-esteem, it's possible that attendance could increase. Richard F. Daugherty, an associate professor in the Department of Educational Leadership at the University of Nevada in Reno, and a former public school teacher and administrator, claimed that less embarrassment over clothing could increase attendance. It's an easy correlation to make. Less embarrassment over clothing raises self-esteem, which will cause students to want to come to school, which improves attendance, and furthermore improves grades, because if students are in school more, their grades are bound to improve. Giving students a reason to feel a little more equal is just another reason, but what about their safety? School uniforms not only help students gain a higher self-esteem and equalize the students, but it's an easy way to make students feel a little bit more safer in their environment at school. In many school districts, there are gang affiliations, and it's dangerous for students because they may accidentally wear some type of gang-affiliated attire, and they could be harmed for it. Al Valdez is supervisor of the gang unit for Orange County, California District Attorney's Office with 21 years of law enforcement experience, informs that there are many documented instances where non-gang member students inadvertently wearing a certain color or style of clothing have been targeted and attacked by gang members, sometimes receiving fatal injuries. In schools where school uniforms are not used, the gangs are able to have their uniforms shown. Gang clothing is a gang uniform to real gang members. Valdez claims, and if we apply school uniforms, that fear can be avoided. If the students are afraid of being jumped by a gang because they might be wearing a gang-affiliated clothing, their minds would be more focused on that than on their studies. Valdez argues students do not learn well when scared. Also, if the students are afraid, what stops the teachers from being also being afraid? If the teacher is comfortable, they'll have a better job of teaching. They'll be able to do a better job of teaching. School uniforms are an easy way to assist schools in making the environment safer for students and teachers by avoiding anything that could be easily mistaken for gang affiliations. We've now established two ways that school uniforms can benefit students. Now let's go over yet another reason that will help students even more because it helps them in the future. Schools are to help students prepare for their futures, and school uniforms help in doing that. Many jobs and careers today require uniforms, and some required or some type of required attire. So why not implement that in schools when they're growing up? And it'll help them prepare them for their future. Daugherty claims that uniforms can prepare students for the work world where expectations are greater. In the workplace, one is required to have a business-like attire, a business-like attitude of professionalism and efficiency, and promoting those values in schools can be helped by implementing school uniforms. Teaching students that when you dress a certain way, you have to act a certain way helps to convey a particularized message. Uniforms help to establish that message of what activities should be done. As Valdez stated, students who dress to learn will learn. Students who dress to play will play. When you establish at a younger age that dressing a certain way promotes certain activities, it creates a segue for a professional workplace for students. Even after going just over a few reasons why school uniforms are such a benefit to students, it can clearly be seen that school uniforms only benefit society. When school uniforms are implemented in public schools, the students will be able to benefit from the effects and the mindset of the uniforms. They will be able to feel safe in an environment to learn. They'll be able to gain real self-worth and be able to gain some knowledge to the future. In an article produced by the Gale Opposing Viewpoints, they presented the fact that uniforms work as a catalyst for change and provide a highly visible window of opportunity. In this window, which allows additional programs to be implemented. If implementing school uniforms is the first step to gaining educational reform, so be it. Thank you.